nun and was distressed at what she saw as much laxity in the religious life. Her great love of our blessed Lord in her prayer life inspired her to action, following in the footsteps of the great reformers of the church, steps that inevitably passed through dark periods of hostility and rejection by many within the church itself. A phrase often associated with her is one she used to utter frequently: "Lord, let me suffer or let me die." She wanted to form relatively small groups of women, around a dozen or so, that would aspire to great holiness through their love and care of one another, deeply religious convents of loving communities who would aspire to heaven by loving each other profoundly. She emphasized corporal sacrifice through physical pain, such as flagellation, to mortify the body as well as the soul, and by so doing, uniting to the physical sufferings of Christ's passion and death. Her greatest emphasis was on prayer and solitude, underscoring that love for Christ should lead one to near ecstasy. So frequently did Teresa live on such a plane that she was seen levitating during Mass on more than one occasion. A surprising little realized fact is that Teresa did not begin the lion's share of her work until her 50s, considering herself to be somewhat lax prior to that. Her view was not some fanciful, impractical pie in the sky. It was, in fact, punctuated and underscored by the practical reality of the Christian life in action, raising up formidable, strong women of faith. One account which underscores her view is when the sisters were sitting around in the monastery one afternoon sewing. One of the sisters lost her scissors, and as another handed her another pair, she said, "Here you are, darling." Teresa abruptly upbraided her and said it was not right to treat each other as dainty, frail girls, but as strong men who were stalwart and tough. Teresa faced almost violent opposition from within the church. Outlandish slanders were made about her, some even spreading rumors that she was establishing brothels in the various convents. At one point, she was forbidden from establishing any new convents. She was even dragged before the Inquisition to explain herself and her actions. Through it all, she relied on a life of mystical prayer. Her holiness was so evident to those open to seeing it that she attracted a number of powerful and influential people to help her with her mission. She wrote what is considered her seminal work, The Interior Castle, to indicate that the Christian life had to flow from a life of spiritual fortitude, like a castle, strong and imposing, impossible to be conquered from without. So intense was her love of our blessed Lord that she once described a scene where an angel came to her with a fiery red lance that he kept running through her heart, causing her such great pain she moaned, but at the same time describing the pain as so sweet that she did not want it to end. This vision was the inspiration for one of Bernini's most famous works, The Ecstasy of Saint Teresa at Santa Maria della Vittoria in Rome. She went about her work as the Protestant revolt was tearing across Europe, causing spiritual mayhem. She was very aware of what was happening in numerous Catholic countries, and this provided an impetus for her work throughout Spain. In fact, she saw her mission not so much as a reform of Carmel, but as helping to reform the wider church and bring it back to a deeper, more intense love of Jesus Christ. In city after city, up and down Spain, she established convents of women with the same vision and love of and for the church and Christ. As she lay dying, her final words were, "O my Lord and spouse, the hour I have longed for has come. It is time for us to meet each other, as it will one day be time for each of us." Reporting from Spain, home of St. Teresa of Jesus, this is Michael Voris for RealCatholicTV.com.